Hello, everyone. This is criminal profiler Pat Brown, and today I'm going to be talking about, the new A&E docuseries, Scott Peterson, the new evidence. Is there anything new? It's a 3-hour-long, two-part series, which if you fell asleep during it, I am with you. I did, and I had to actually go back and try to find out whether I slept through some important things. So I suffered through it. If you did, very, very exhausting documentary, but very interesting as well. So that's why I wanted to come here today and discuss the evidence that they put out in the documentary. And the only reason I'm doing this is because new evidence, alleged evidence. In all fairness, the prosecution can put out evidence, and I could do that too. Defense, the media. So, but until I can analyze it and determine whether I think it is actual evidence or whether it is something else, I want to be able to, do this. Okay. Rainey says, I got through part 1. Yeah. Clarissa says, I didn't suffer myself with watching the second part. Oh my God. It was a bit of a slog, but it was very interesting. And so I did go back and wake myself up at 2 a.m. and watch the rest of it. All right. As I get started today, I want to say this is an open public live. I rarely do this. I do this only when I feel like this is a really fascinating case that so many people might be interested in what I have to say who are not my patrons, my regular patrons. Usually my live shows are patron only. And if you'd like to be in my regular live shows, click the link below for Patreon. It's $5 a month. You get 2 live shows a week, a live show like this on the weekend, and a hangout during the week. My case shows on the weekend, and my hangouts do have all kinds of different information and questions and news in it. I would click on the button that I usually show, but I'm having technical problems today. Apparently, my screens are freezing, and I push the thing that says "Make yourself look better," and I'm not looking better. So if you've always wondered what I really look like, yeah, this is it. I couldn't even get it's not working. So I have a lot of problems with StreamYard today. And so I'm never going to move off this screen because when I do it, it freezes and I can't get back. So it's been a slight nightmare, but I'm here. I'm going to keep this behind me and I'll just tell you about it. Hey, if you'd like to be on Patreon, click the link below and please do subscribe to the channel because we are fighting against AI and the algorithm loves AI because 50% of our stuff is now AI and they make way more money for YouTube, X, TikTok, and all these every place. And medium-sized, small channels like mine, we do not get that kind of benefits. So we're losing subscribers, we're losing views, we're losing income. It's just been a nightmare. But anyway, putting all that aside, I just have to say that because I can't click on my normal button. It's annoying. Kirsten says, thank you, Pat, for watching it over again for us. Yes, I took one for the team. I did. All right. So let's get to it. First of all, I want to say this about AE because a lot of people ask me, because I've done documentary work, do documentaries, certain networks, Netflix, A&E, Oxygen, do they care about the truth? And the answer to that is absolutely not. They care about making money. And if they can put anything out that will stir up anybody, they don't give a crap about whether it's highly biased or whether it's complete pack of lies. They don't care. Making a Murderer was Netflix's biggest moneymaker and really one of the most disgusting things I've ever seen put out, where they try to get an absolutely guilty guy, Stephen Avery, out of prison and based just a defense thing. And it was so biased, it was ridiculous. And evidence against him is overwhelming. So if you think Stephen Avery is innocent, you might be on the wrong channel right now. I'm not saying you can't believe that, but you might want to take some meds or something. Anyway, so these just to keep that in mind, these channels don't really care about truth. They care about money. A&E is connected to CrimeCon, which is the thing. It's a gathering which I absolutely dislike intensely. CrimeCon is where every crime fanatics go, and they pay a lot of money to see people that they love on online, on internet, like Nancy Grace, Cheryl McCollum, I'm trying to think of the other people who are on it, just other people. And there's a lot of authors that come with their books. And they also have on there, well, surprise, surprise, they have, these three people. These are the three people you will see in the documentary because A&E has ties with CrimeCon, which is now owned by Fox, by the way. So, and Fox is promoting CrimeCon because they also promote News Nations. So it's this whole incestuous little group. And so here we have the three I'm going to talk about who are in this documentary. And at this point, I don't know why isn't that aren't those the pyramids? What the hell? I'm sorry. Why do the pyramids and a cobra have a damn thing to do with crime? Okay, I didn't. I just noticed that, and I think it's weird. But anyway, they were there at CrimeCon. There's a whole thing. You can go on. I think go on YouTube and see the whole thing that they did. I didn't watch it yet, and I don't know that I want to because I'm pretty sure it's in the documentary. But that A&E hooked up with CrimeCon to have these three come to CrimeCon so they could promote this docuseries. So there you go. A lot of incestuous stuff here. So I just want you to understand how things really work. Okay, now, don't you say that, Texas Redhead. That's Pat's boyfriend, Mark Geragos. I'm going to talk about Mark Geragos in a minute. Anyway, was it a cobra with a mohawk? Oh, since I did the Discovery Channel thing on the death of Cleopatra, mysterious death, and I wrote a book called The Murder of Cleopatra, that cobra is meaningful to me because the cobra did not kill Cleopatra. Octavian did. And there's no cobra. Anyway, I digress. Let's go to the show. All right, so I cannot change my screen, but I will put some overlays on it. So let me go to, I'm going to read just because some people actually will come here and say, I don't know anything about this case. So I'm going to just read you the small paragraph from Wikipedia, just so the basics are there. All right. On December 24th, 27-year-old Laci Denise Peterson disappeared from her home in Modesto, California, while 8 months pregnant with her first child. Her disappearance prompted a large-scale search and drew national media attention. In April of 2003, the remains of Laci and her unborn son, Connor, were found along the shoreline of the San Francisco Bay. Her husband, Scott Lee Peterson, was arrested shortly afterward and charged with 2 counts of murder. In 2004, he was convicted of the first-degree murder of Laci and the second-degree murder of Connor. His death sentence was overturned in 2020, and in 2021, he was resentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. But enter the Los Angeles Innocence Project. And they are like, this man is innocent. He's not guilty. He did not kill Laci. And they have put a tremendous amount of effort in to get him exonerated, or at least get an appeal. All his appeals have failed, just to let you know. He's appealed and appealed and appealed, and they've all failed. So, but the Innocence Project is basically saying, well, the government is crooked and corrupt, and he should have gotten the appeals. He should have gotten a new trial. He should be exonerated. And now, since they failed at all of that, we have an A&E docuseries, which is trying to convince the general public that this dude is innocent. And by the way, this sometimes works in the sense that the pressure from the media and the public can force sometimes certain people like governors to then say, I'm going to, whatever, let that person out of prison for whatever reasons, or they'll get some, it's like, instead of going through the traditional methodologies, they go do a workaround and they'll get him out of prison. And everybody say, oh, isn't it wonderful? Anyway, you always leave out the date or the year of the crime. Do I? I did not. I read this. Do you have hearing problems? I said right here, I read from Wikipedia. It says on December 24th, 2002, 27-year-old Laci Denise Peterson disappeared. In April of 2003, her body was found. Okay. I don't know. Maybe I left out the first part. Who the hell knows? All right. So that's the basics on the case. Let's go to the documentary. And I was going to show the 3 people that were in the documentary behind me, but I can't change the screen because StreamYard is having glitchy things. And if I do that, I may never be back. So I will show you, I do have overlays, which do work. So let's see who's in the documentary. All right. We have Chris Pixley, attorney and legal analyst. He's been doing a tremendous amount of media over the years. And he says, for over 30 years, I've been doing trial practice. He is a defense attorney, and he's been on God knows how many shows. He is the host of this show, and he propels this show. And he's like, this is so important. I think that we need to re-examine everything, all the schmoozy stuff. Yeah, okay. And then we have my boyfriend, Mark Geragos. That's Scott Peterson's former defense attorney. The joke on Mark Geragos is this. I used to do a lot of shows that Mark Geragos was on, especially Nancy Grace. He'd be on, I'd be on. Everything was fine until one evening, a group of us went to dinner, and I won't tell you what happened after dinner. Let me put it this way. I was not appreciative of certain behaviors of Geragos. And that next time he appeared on Nancy Grace, he said, she trashed me on Nancy Grace. And everybody's like, what the hell is going on here? And I won't tell you. I was like, so do I think he's a scumbag? You betcha. Anyway, yes, I think he's a scumbag. But he's a defense attorney, and he has the right to be a defense attorney. So there's that. Then there's this woman who was on, Ninette Toosbuy. She's a retired detective from the Los Angeles PD. And I was excited about her because I'm like, okay, you're from the police end of things. Oh my God, she's the most disappointing part of this docuseries. She pretty much does the whatever the Los Angeles Innocence Project wants her to say. She's darn well going to say it. Now, I don't know why. I feel like I don't mind that she criticizes the police. I don't mind that. But she's like, oh, yes, it could be that true. It could be this way. I'm like, you're just parroting whatever the Los Angeles Innocence Project wants you to, and whatever this guy who's running around with you, Pixley, is saying. And he's like, don't you think this? She goes, oh, yes, I could be that. A bunch of nonsense I've ever heard. She has a great background. So I was excited. But all I see her doing is parroting the defense theories and not even questioning them. I was very disappointed. She said a lot of things that were just nonsense. And why, I do not know. They only had one person on there who spoke any sense. And this was a guy named Ronald Wapner. He's a professor of obstetrics and gynecology. I'll get to him later. He did say the truth. And so Pixley is like, oh no, is that so? And then he managed to spin it in the direction of Scott's innocence. I'll get to that in a minute. But those are the people who were involved. And yeah, okay. So I just for a few pictures. Here's Scott and Laci looking happy. Here's Scott looking happier with Amber. And here he's again with her because he's cheating on his wife. He cheated on her before Amber, but he's cheating on her again. And during the time he was with Amber, this is when Laci disappeared and was found dead. Okay, so that's the basics of that. Oh, really? Toosbuy drove me nuts. Interesting, Kimmy. I want to ask you why. Because, as a profiler who's worked police departments, I have reasons for being bothered by that. Oh, this is true. Okay, as far as that goes, I want to talk about that. I don't know who you're talking about here, but can you be bought and money talks? Apparently, you can. I'm not saying he did. He was, but yeah. Amber was okay. Yeah. She wasn't pregnant with a baby that you didn't want. So anyway, so let's go to some of the issues of this whole case. One of the things that happens in docuseries is the question is always, is there an agenda? And of course, there was 100% an agenda from the Los Angeles Innocence Project. Their agenda is trying to get him out of prison. Now, I've said this over and over again. I don't believe the Innocence Project is correctly named. For the most part, they're the Technicality Project. They will go with the police misconduct. They'll go with prosecution errors. They'll go with whatever they can for a technicality and therefore get the person released from prison. Most of the time, and as far as I can see, most of the ones I have reviewed are actually guilty of the crime they committed, but they got them out of a technicality. So they should call themselves a Technicality Project, and then I'd have less of an issue with them. But when you call this an innocence project, what people believe is that, now it's true, when a person is exonerated, I'm going to use this a lot, exonerated, the governor lets them out, or whatever, they decided not to retrial the case. It doesn't mean they're actually factually innocent. It means that because they're no longer considered guilty by verdict, because the verdict's been overruled and whatever, they are now considered, quote, innocent. So, but it doesn't mean they didn't commit the crime. It just means innocence in the sense of the law. So I've always found it very disingenuous that the Innocence Project, any of its little children, because you have the big Innocence Project, then you got all these ones across the United States. They don't really care if the person is actually factually innocent or factually guilty. They're concerned with, can they get them out of prison and then have a win. So that's usually the thing was. Well, that's interesting. Okay, Dark Side of the Moon says, the Innocence Project was co-founded by Barry Scheck, who was one of O.J. Simpson's lawyers. Well, there you go. If you still think O.J. Simpson is innocent, all right. Again, maybe you need meds. Oh, Michelle, happy to be here. Love your work, right? Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Okay, so let's go to the what was said in this documentary. So I want to look at all the evidence again, I have to do the quotes, just because what they say is not necessarily evidence. What they say is conjecture for the most part. And conjecture is different than evidence. So I'll start with what their conjecture is. All right. So I have all these little notes I wrote. They start out the show with, thank you very much, Michelle. I appreciate that very much. Thank you. I always forget when I'm doing one of these open lives that people can actually give me super stickers. I'm not used to that. But thank you. So they start out with, hey, nobody saw him do it. How did he move her body without anybody seeing it? Well, a lot of crimes people get away with crimes because nobody sees them. There just aren't witnesses to the exact moment they do it. So he had to move her body. If he killed her, he had to move her body from the house into his vehicle, and then the vehicle would go down to the place he had. He had a business, I don't know, what do you want to call it, kind of a rental place where he keeps his stuff in, and a boat. And so then he'd put her in the boat, and then he would drive an hour and a half to the San Francisco Bay, dump her body, and then return. And so the first thing he says, nobody saw this. Okay, that's true. But does that prove he didn't do it? No. All right. Next, how did he do that? Leave no evidence. I don't know. You know, a lot of crimes are committed and there's no evidence. Just the way it works. First thing here is, most likely she was strangled or smothered. Therefore, there's not blood evidence. So there you go. And her body being, her DNA being in the house, in the car, any place, pretty much, except for maybe the boat, would be completely useless. And one of the things I want to say right here now, but just because somebody's going to get me for this one, they're going to say, thank you very much, Lady Jane. I appreciate that. I'll say I'm not used to this, but it's very cool. Thank you very much. Awesome. I don't know how to even click on things. Anyway, so thank you. I used to know this crime very, very well, and I've done previous videos on it if you want to check them out on YouTube. But sorry about the noise. My phone just dropped. I do not remember every single detail. So if there's something I am completely missing, feel free to ask and say, hey, Pat, what about this? Because quite frankly, I may not remember every detail of this crime. It wasn't a case I worked. So it was a case I got the public information. I did not follow every moment of the trial or any of that kind of stuff. So what I'm doing is commenting on the docuseries and what I find good and bad about it. Okay, so there we go. And this, so that's the first thing they talk about is they talk about tunnel vision and the police bias. And of course, we know that Toosbuy is going to definitely jump in on that. She goes, oh my God, they had tunnel vision right away. They didn't like Scott Peterson's behavior, his coldness, his lack of interest. They were like, well, this. So one of the funny things that a lot of times a defense attorney will say was, yeah, the guy acts like a psychopath, cold-blooded, lying, manipulative, all of that. But just because he acts like a psychopath doesn't mean he is one. No, usually if you act like a psychopath, you are one. Now, if he's a psychopath, doesn't mean he killed Laci. No, it does not. You can have a psychopath. This could be a couple, she could be married to the psychopath over here, but walk out of her house and get kidnapped. That's true. And maybe he doesn't give a crap that she got kidnapped. Maybe he's even like, oh, dang, that's nice. I can get out of this damn marriage I didn't want anyway. So that is true. So yes, he could have an affect that made the police look at him. But what's interesting when they do these docuseries is they specifically leave out the information that gives the other side of the story, you see. In other words, they say, oh, the police had tunnel vision and they're biased. Well, I'm pretty much sure that this docuseries is biased as hell. You left out everything that would make him look guilty. So one of the things that made him look extra guilty was that on Christmas Eve, he decided instead of going golfing, he would suddenly drive an hour and a half away to San Francisco Bay to test out this boat. He bought a boat, a crappy little boat, mind you, the cheapest little boat he could find. And here's the warehouse place he has for his business stuff, and that's where he would have brought it to. And he stored it there, by the way. And so suddenly, instead of golfing, on Christmas Eve, he decides to go fishing. Now, mind you, I will be fair to him on this. It may be that Laci's like, oh God, thank God, go away. You're annoying as hell. Because sometimes women want to get stuff done and the husband is in the way and he's just go away for the day. Leave me to do my stuff. So I'm not going to say he didn't have the right or even the permission, I'll put quotes on that too, to go play golf or go fish. However, he did drive an hour and a half away to test out this new boat he bought. The family says she had no clue he bought a boat, and he didn't bring it home. He put it in the storage unit. So I believe she did not know about it. The police believe that he was plotting her murder because he hid the boat from her, claiming, by the way, that he bought the boat for a Christmas present for her father, who is an avid fisherman and already owns a boat. And this thing is a piece of shit. I mean, in comparison, it's just a little teeny, so it's okay if you just want to roll around a little bit, but it's not exactly what you really want for real fishing, So he's out, instead of going to a nearby, more of a lake or something where he could test the boat out, he goes all the way out to the San Francisco Bay, which is an hour and a half away. And he's not a fisherman. So it's like, he needs to test the boat? Who the hell goes to test the boat? It's a boat. You don't need to test it. On top of that, he supposedly bought fishing lures and all that stuff, and none of them were ever used. And also they found in that little place that he had stored the boat in, they also found that he had made cement anchors, which were not in existence after she went missing. So who the hell makes cement anchors for their daddy-in-law to use? Who does it? Who makes cement anchors, period? Just go buy some. Anyway, why do you need 5? Why do you need so many of them? Anyway, so he goes out and goes out and fishes or not. And then he finishes that up and he drives an hour and a half back to Modesto. I don't know. I'll just put this picture up because I can't put it behind me. Modesto, California. All right. So now he's been out all day long. All the way there, he never talked to Laci. She's going to do her thing. She's very pregnant. He's about to become a daddy, and he drives an hour and a half away and doesn't ever call Laci and say, hey, how's your walk going? How's your morning going? Blah, blah. He doesn't do that. He goes and fishes. He doesn't call from there either. On the way back, he calls and leaves this little, like, hey, beautiful, kind of phony, message. When he arrives home, Laci's not there. The dog is there. Laci's not there. He does not call her phone, their cell phone. She has one. He doesn't call. I think he takes a shower, eats some pizza, makes some other phone calls. And then finally, when he's like, I wonder where Laci's at, he calls Laci's mom and says, hey, have you seen Laci? Never having called Laci's phone at all. Her purse is in the car. And his claim is, get this one, that when she goes to walk the dog in the morning, she leaves her purse in the car with the phone and the house and the keys in a car that's not locked. Get out of here. So if you wonder why the police had tunnel vision, it's because the dude acts suspicious as hell. So not only did he have bizarre behavior and affect of a psychopath, but he didn't seem to do the right things after his pregnant wife and his little baby inside her. They're nowhere to be seen, and he doesn't really give a crap. He's more interested in pizza in a shower and doesn't even contact her to find out where she is and get worried about her. Or totally, oh yeah, I'll call her mom and see if she's over there. Okay, could be a jerk. It's true. He could be a complete asshole. And that's what the defense wants you to believe. He's just the biggest asshole ever. All right. It's possible. Do I believe she would put her purse in the car to go walk the dog? That is the dumbest thing I ever heard of. Nobody ever said she did that. I mean, maybe somebody else knows something I don't, but who the hell does that? If you're going to go walk the damn dog, you leave your purse in the house. You take your phone and your keys. You're pregnant, for God's sakes. You're walking around and you have to first of all, and get back in the house. Okay, maybe you left your keys because you left the door open. I'll go with it. How about the phone? You know, I carry my phone. I just point this out often. There's my phone. That's where I'm 70. My concern is that, let's say I go to the bathroom and I slip in the bathroom, fall on my face. I want this to be here. I don't want to have it in my hand and it goes flying. If I go out my daughter has next door, my daughter has a donkey, a horse, some alpacas and llamas. And sometimes she says, can you feed them? And you used to go in the field and feed them. So I'm like, I'm going to do this because if the donkey kicks me, I want to be sure when I'm lying on the ground like this, I can go 911. This is a pregnant woman. She's going to go walk around the neighborhood. She doesn't take a phone with her. Get out of here. So this is why the police thought this guy was suspicious. Now, they didn't arrest him. So the whole thing about, oh my God, they just focused on him and him alone. They didn't arrest him, but they were looking at him very carefully, which they should, because his behaviors were indeed not the normal behaviors of a husband who cared about his wife and his newborn son. His unborn son. They had a reason to look at that. So when she goes on about, they were tunnel vision. If she was working that case, she would have had that same vision. But now that she's not with the LAPD anymore, and she's basically the bitch of the Innocence Project, she's going to go with whatever the Innocent Project has to say. I don't think of her as an independent, unbiased person at all. None of what she did in this whole show was unbiased. Every single thing was pushing the Innocence Project's viewpoint that Scott was innocent and the police did everything wrong. And there's somebody else out there who killed Laci. So I'm sorry. She lost all my respect really, really soon up front. I'm going to check your comments, and I want to go to the witnesses that saw her that morning walking the dog. Okay. Let's see. All right. Lots of people rolling in here. Yes, leave it in the house, not the car. It's very weird. I mean, oh, you're only 38. I'm so glad, because it's kind of like an old lady shit thing. I'm like, this is embarrassing. I don't know if I did it when I was 38. Now I do. Oh, Clarissa, yes. Did I boob dial you before? I think I probably did. Usually people, butt dial, but I did absolutely have boob dial. And it's true. Oh, such nice people. What? Oh my God. No ranch dressing. I'm a blue cheese freak. So when I get wings, they're going to be in blue cheese. Anyway, so back then, maybe they didn't carry the phones around. Well, why? She did have one, though. Why did she have one? Because maybe it was important. So, but I will give you this, Brad. It's possible, but I don't believe that she would leave it in the car. In the house, it would make more sense. Just saying. But again, there's all these. You can come up with excuses, and maybe she had unusual behaviors. Maybe she did. I mean, maybe she's a different kind of person. So okay, let's go with it. Let's say Scott is kind of an unattentive husband, was kind of a jackass, and she just left all her crap in the car and took a walk. Let's go with it, because I can't say that it's not true. So let's go with it. So then we have what they call the 14 witnesses. Oh my God, 14 witnesses. And they actually have their people get on. I think it was one. Oh, what was that one on? and I'm blanking. But anyway, they get on air and they actually said, I think Dr. Phil, who I do not like, but anyway, I have to give him credit for this one time. So somebody from one of his defenders, or somebody famous, I don't know who the hell it was. But anyway, they get on Dr. Phil's show and she says, 14 witnesses saw Laci that morning that she supposedly see what happened is she's supposedly going to walk the dog, and Scott has already left to go fishing, and then she goes and walks the dog, you see. But the whole thing comes down to her neighbor. Let's find her neighbor's picture. Okay, so here's her neighbor. Her neighbor finds the dog wandering around with a leash, and so the neighbor puts the dog back in the backyard. Well, in this docuseries, they say what happened probably was that Laci intended to go walk the dog. She went out and she got distracted, let go of the dog's leash. She went back in the house. Then the neighbor saw the dog, put the dog in the backyard, not realizing Laci was still at home. And then Laci walked out of the house and she saw this burglary happening across the street. I'll get to that. And therefore, Scott was already gone. The dog was already in the backyard and she went across the street. What happened to the walking the dog thing? Where'd that go? Okay. Now, one of the things these docuseries do and the defense attorneys do is that they present two things that are totally opposite, and you're like, well, which one is it? So anyway, the other one is, it's all very confusing timeline. But anyway, supposedly 14 people saw Laci walking a dog. That's what their people said. And she's on Dr. Phil. I don't know who the hell it was. And she goes, Dr. Phil, 14 people saw Laci and the dog. Dr. Phil, at least, God, this time, said, did they see, are you saying they absolutely know they saw Laci, or did they see a woman and a dog? And then the woman's like backtracking, she's like, oh, whoa. He nailed her on that. Not one of the 14 people says they saw Laci. Not one of them. Some of them thought they saw a pregnant woman. Some of them thought they saw a fat woman. None of them knew even what Laci looked like. Now, mind you, all this information was out on the news. God knows how many people called to say, I saw Laci. And they saw her in all these different places. But nobody actually knew what Laci looked like. There was never any proof it was Laci. And there was another woman in the area who was also pregnant enough, I guess. I think she was pregnant. She had a dog, same dog. She was walking around. She said, maybe it was me. So there is absolutely 100% no proof that 14 people saw Laci. Now, if Scott had left and absolutely there was proof that somebody saw Laci, then I would say, well, then this dude's in the clear, 100%. That's not the way it works. So they're full of shit. And it bothers me because, let me just look at this. So there's just no proof of it. Okay, let's go to the next thing they say happened. Now, they say, this is the alternative theory. I think I even have a picture of it. An alternative theory. Where's my alternative theory? Is it? Oh, no, that's not it. Sorry, I can't remember where I put my alternative theory. I guess I forgot to put it up. Anyway. Okay, the alternative theory. Wait a minute, maybe I shouldn't go there yet. Let's go to what they're going to say was that Scott could not have put her body in the bay. All right, the claim is this. So they have these people that do title science. Now, mind you, during all the trials, they had some people doing title science. I can't even begin to say whether I understand a bit of it. So I'm not even going to go there. I'm not going to say, well, I know better. I don't know anything about title science. But somebody during the trial said that where Scott went to fish, he tossed her body into the water and her body turned up where it did. And the title science at the time, or the wind, or whatever the hell it was basically supported that. Well, don't you know that the Innocence Project has found an unbiased scientist to say, oh, I've done a title science analysis, and I'm going to say that is not where Scott put her body over there, but the entry point was at Albany Bulb. That's this thing over here. Albany bulb, and, dumped her off of here. All right. Now, mind you, the reason we have a trial is so that you can hear the prosecution's expert and the defense expert. Usually, half the time, they just completely disagree. So one of those experts is either not expert or a lying dog, which is kind of interesting in itself. But when you watch this program, they have this unbiased person. Now, mind you, we don't know if they went to 5 different title experts and 4 of them said, yeah, no. And they found one who said, okay. We don't know that. All we know is what they're going to show you in the docuseries, what they've edited and all this stuff that they do. So supposedly, Scott couldn't have dumped her in the water where he did, or her body would have ended up where it did. They've got this new title science. So the new theory by the defense is that somebody drove down there and dumped her body off of this area. Okay, now I don't understand quite why, if they did that, are they saying that they still dumped her body? How did they dump her body? Where did they get the anchors to dump her body so her body wouldn't float for 4 months? How did they do that? Did they have a boat? Well, did they drive down there and have a boat themselves and take the boat out? But no. They're supposed to dump the body right there with anchors. Why not just, okay, if you want to pin this on, this is the defense's retarded theory. That's all I can say. Is basically that it's this. And I'm going to get to all the rest of it in a minute. But she observed a burglary. They kidnapped her, killed her. And when they found out that Scott had gone fishing in the San Francisco Bay and they knew the area, they drove over there and dumped her body in the bay. Which would mean, one, did they buy a boat too so they could take her out and then did they also make anchors? No, all that's so nonsensical. Wouldn't they just, if you're going to do that, just dump her body right there so it can be found within a week or two and be pinned on him? Why would you want it to be hidden? The only reason you put anchors on a body and hide it is because you never want the body to be found. If you want to pin it on somebody, you want the body to be found so he can be blamed. So this is also nonsensical. It's ridiculous. But the title science guy, he knows better. All right, so that was one of the things they did. So now let's go to the burglary. Okay, so across the street from, and this is a true thing, across the street from, this is the Peterson house. Across the street is the Medina house. All right, and the Medina house, here's a picture. There's a Peterson home and the Medina home right across the street. Oh, there's more witnesses, not the 14. I get lost on how many witnesses are where. Not the people that saw her, but there are a bunch of people who saw vans. They did. They saw vans in the area. It's Christmas Eve. Gosh, vans in the area. I'll tell you, I've analyzed crimes, worked on crimes, and what people always see are white vans. You know why they see white vans? Because people work. There's a lot of business people with white vans, plumbers, electricians, delivery drivers. There's so many freaking white vans in the area. When you say white van, it's like whatever. The DC snipers, that was one of them. Somebody got shot in a gas station in Maryland, and somebody said, "Oh my God, I know what they were driving. It was a white van. This white van hit the gas and zoomed out of there." Well, if you hear a gunshot and you're driving a white van, I'm going to say you're going to hit the gas too and get the hell out of there. They were never driving a van. They were driving some kind of car. So white vans are just everywhere. So anyway, these people saw a white van or a brownish van or a tannish van. People saw this in the area. Now, by the way, one of the best witnesses, I think I'm going to say, I can't remember. I think both Pixley and Toosbuy went over this. So there was a woman, and didn't see just vans in the area. She was on the street, and she saw this van, and she thought originally it was in front of the Medina house across the street. You see, about the time when she disappeared, and there was this van, and she saw 3 brown people. She thought they were landscape, workers, which is not unusual for a lot of people. Mexico, El Salvador, work with landscaping. That's true. She saw 3 brown people. And then she said she was driving past. She realized they weren't landscapers because they looked at her in a mean way. I'm like, what? So to her, that proved that they weren't there to landscape, but they were a bunch of burglars, you see. So this was great information. And the team here, Scott Peterson's team in the docuseries says, oh my God. And the police, they took her in and they did, because she made this claim, they took her in, they did this hypnosis thing, which admittedly the police failed at because they didn't use a proper hypnotist. They used somebody who was quite not credentialed enough. And the defense for Scott Peterson says they did that on purpose so they could disqualify this woman's testimony. She saw this van outside the house across the street that she might have gone up to and said, hey, what are you doing there? And was kidnapped by these burglars. All right. First of all, they didn't do that on purpose. The reason that Geragos, remember Geragos? Yeah, him. He did not put her on the stand. Well, she wasn't able to be on the stand because of that was true that they couldn't put her on there because of this was a police malfunction, which is true. They didn't do it right, but not because they were trying to hide the evidence anymore. Geragos never put any of the witnesses that saw Laci rolling around the neighborhood on the stand either because he knew it was all bullshit. So now we have this woman who says, oh my God, I saw these brown men outside and they gave me a bad look. Okay. They caught the guys that committed the burglary across the street. You want to see what these guys look like? This is guy number one. Yeah, he's really brown. There's guy number two. Yeah, he's really brown. So the actual burglars were Caucasian. And they weren't driving a van. What the hell is she talking about? They didn't, even if they hadn't done the stupid hypnosis, maybe because they believed her in the beginning, maybe she knew something. Even if they'd done that, she would have been a horrible witness because none of what she said made any sense. So that's just garbage. So let's go a little further. I'm going to go to your comments in a minute. I'm going to finish up the burglary part of it. It's just so stupid. It's ridiculous. So anyway, the claim is this, that Laci Peterson. No, Laci Peterson. Yeah, that's a different Peterson crime. Drew Peterson, who is Laci Peterson, is still missing. His third, I don't know how many wives that was. Third wife? I think it was third wife. Anyway, Scott Peterson's wife, Laci, supposedly she walks out the door and across the street, she sees this van and these men hauling a 100-pound safe out to the van. And she says, what are you doing? Now, first of all, oh my God, it's so unbelievably bad. It's just ridiculous. So here she is pregnant. And they say, oh, she's like a neighborhood watch person. I'm sorry, but if I'm pregnant, I got baby in my stomach, I'm not going to go over and talk to people that could be burglars and put myself at risk. Even if they're not going to kidnap me, they could hurt me. So I'm just going to go back at my house. I'm going to go 911. Hey, there's some creepy people across the street. No, but she's brave. So she goes over and says, what are you doing? And they're like, oh man, we're stealing shit from the house. We just stole this big safe. Whack. So they hit her over the head and they pull her into the van and they drive off. That's the story. Now, and the story from this Peterson team is that this all happened on the 24th in the morning. Okay. And the prosecution says, no, it happened on early morning on the 26th, which was like between 3 and 5 in the morning. And the defense says, oh no, by the 26th, or the media was everywhere on the streets. And the prosecution says, well, they may have been, but they weren't there between 3 and 5 in the morning on the 26th. They weren't staying there all night long. There was nobody out on the streets. It was dead quiet. Now, if you're going to steal something from a house and you're going to park in the driveway and haul out a 100-pound safe, wouldn't you want to do that at night and not in the middle of the day in a busy neighborhood where you can be seen? So the whole part of that is kind of ludicrous. But okay, let's go to the guys who actually committed the crime. They were caught because these stupid guys, after they heard about all this stuff that happened, one of them said to a friend or an informant, said, you know, we robbed that house across the street, but we didn't have anything to do with her. And the informant ratted them out to the police. The police went to these two guys, they went to their whatever home they lived in, and they found the what they stole from the house, which was a bunch of like equipment, like big pieces of equipment you could use. I don't know what the equipment was, and then they stole the safe. The safe had in it $50,000 worth of jewelry and a bunch of a few $1,000s in cash. They just lucked out. So how did this all go down? Let me tell you. So what happened was one of these meth heads, and they're meth heads, okay? They're like speeding like crazy. One of them had a bicycle. So he's bicycling around the town, and he goes across the street okay, let's look at the street again. So across the street from the Peterson house is the Medina house. These are pretty wealthy people, things pretty nice there. And he notices that there's mail in the mailbox, which probably means they're not home. Now, on the 24th, when the Medinas left for this little trip that they took, there would have been the mailbox would have been empty because they hadn't left yet in the morning. The mailman hadn't even been there. It would be an empty mailbox. So if they rolled by in the morning, they'd have no idea if they were home. Somebody said, well, so there was only one car in the driveway. So what? Maybe the other person went to the store. It's the 24th. Maybe they took off from work. Maybe there might be somebody in the house. There's no mail in the mailbox. Maybe you shouldn't rob the house broad daylight when somebody might be home. But supposedly on the 26th, there was mail in the mailbox, and that's what these two burglars said. And so the guy rolling around on the bicycle was like, oh, I saw this house in the middle of the night. I saw this mail in the mailbox. I thought maybe nobody's home because nobody got the mail. So supposedly he goes around the back of the house and he breaks into the house and nobody is home. And he's only going to get, stuff he can take in a bicycle. But then he encounters his 100-pound big safe. And he's like, dang, might be something in the safe. Well, lucky for him, the Medinas had like a trolley thing. He could pull the thing out, but he had a bicycle. So he calls his buddy and he says, hey, get over here because I found this 100-pound safe. There might be stuff in the safe. This dude hit the jackpot. He didn't know it yet, but he hit the jackpot. Anyway, so his buddy comes over with a small white car, not a van, a small white car, pulls up into the driveway because it's dark and nobody's outside. He pulls into the driveway because you have to understand first of all, they're on meth, so their brains are a little, zippy, and probably they take chances more than they should. But still, it's dark. Nobody's on the street. The guy pulls into the driveway, and at that point in time, you look around and see if anybody sees you. So now they bring the safe out, open up the passenger door, and shove this thing into the front seat, and then they grab the other stuff they throw in the back seat, and then they jump in. They go away, and then the guy opens his big mouth, and so he's caught. When they caught the guys, they found the safe. They found the safe with all the other stuff, and luckily Medina's got most of their stuff back. And next time Medina's and anybody owns a big safe, whether it's smaller or bigger, you bolt that sucker to the ground. Okay, just do that. All right. So they didn't do that. So anyway, that's who they caught. And now the Innocence Project and all these people are saying, no, the police made up that stuff about these burglars. That's all fake. So they're saying they're so corrupt that they're lying about the burglars because it wasn't them. Well, the guys didn't have a van. Now, here's the next interesting part. So supposedly all these people saw this white van, tan van, all this stuff. So then they discovered this burnt out orange van in this area called, I don't know, near the airport district. Okay, it's about 3 miles away. They found a burnt out van. So the defense is saying, oh my God, why didn't the police pursue this? The police looked at it and said, yeah, it's just meaningless. And it's found on this street. This street is what you call an area an area which is not exactly nice. All right. And what's her name? Toosbuy goes, well, you don't have a van being burnt up every day. No. But when you have a bunch of meth heads and a bunch of burglars in that area, people robbing and all that kind of stuff, some people steal a van and then take it for a joyride or use it in a robbery. Or that's a lot of times what's happened. You borrow a vehicle, you steal a vehicle, you use the vehicle to commit a robbery, and then you pull the vehicle over and set it on fire and walk away. That's what the police figured this was. They didn't see any reason it was connected to what happened to Laci. And on top of that, it's an orange van. Take a look at it again. It's a freaking orange van. So this orange van is supposedly parked in broad daylight in front of Laci's house on the other side of the road. And they're trying to haul out this, also supposedly an orange safe, although I don't know if that's true. Anyway, they're hauling out this heavy safe to an orange van in the middle of the day where people are going by. And all those witnesses, not one person saw an orange van outside her house. And who the hell would park an orange van in a driveway to steal shit if you have an orange van? It's so ludicrous. It's ridiculous. But they will go on and say, but you see that orange van that was stolen, and that orange van, inside the orange van, you see, they found this mattress in there, and the mattress had what looked like blood, but it was tested and it was not blood. But they're going on about the orange van. So far, they got 14 witnesses who never actually saw Laci. They've got an orange van that was never seen in the Medina's house across the street that did not have any blood or anything in it. You got 2 meth heads who did commit the burglary to have a small car. There's not one shred of evidence that Laci crossed the street to confront a bunch of burglars and put her life and her son's life in danger and then get kidnapped. It gets worse, but I'm going to go to your comments before I go to how long the baby and Laci were alive so that they could find out where Scott was fishing so they know where to dump the body to frame Scott. All right. Unbelievable. Just unbelievable. Okay, let me see what you got here. Paid line. Well, that could be. And that is true a lot. Okay, let me go to the bottom here. I mean, I've got like 100 comments now. I'm gonna, if you said something earlier, sorry, I'm gonna start at the bottom just because it's a place to start. Okay. All right. That's true. The Darlie, yes, this is so crazy, Darlie's case. Oh my God, she's got a lot of people that believe that she's innocent. Gina says Scott killed her, OJ killed Nicole, period. Pretty much. And the other guy. Okay. Oh, this is secretly buys boat, hides boat, makes anchors, drives an hour and a half to test the boat in the ocean, wife missing. It's not hard. But I'm going to get into the fact that, let's say that he's innocent. Doesn't that then mean that the burglars, here's where it gets really interesting. No, it really doesn't, but that's what they have in the series. Sorry, just a second. My feral cat has rolled in. Anybody knows me knows I have a feral cat here. I love feral cat. And he's eating his food. Anyway, not my cat, but I call him Mac. Anyway, he's making noise over there. So now the burglars, I think I'll do this and then I'll go back to your comment. The burglars, you see, there's a comment that, let's see, where is this stupid stuff? Is it here? Oh, no, that's not it. Sorry. Where did I put it? Oh, yes. Fetal biometry. Biometry? I don't know how you pronounce that. Okay, they're talking about how long you get, trying to figure out how big when they found Connor's body, he was in her tummy for like 8 months. They're trying to determine exactly how old he was when he died. So anyway, during the trial, they basically said he died on the 24th. In other words, she was murdered on the 24th. The baby was dead on the 24th. And they got somebody out there, an expert from the prosecution, said, oh, you see, I did these, and I proved that the baby was exactly the right age for when they were to be killed on the 24th. And so Scott's side says, wait a minute. So they bring this guy in and they're like, hey, it's not true. We had a guy and he did all these fancy things. And he said the baby could have died between the 24th and the 28th. I can't remember what it said in the documentary. So then they brought in this guy. The guy I said actually told the truth. Ronald Wapner, thank you, Ronald Wapner. He said, well, quite frankly, you can't be that accurate. You can simply say, maybe this, maybe this, maybe this, maybe this. And so then Pixley was doing a really great acting job. He said, oh, no, really? You mean our expert might be wrong? Oh, no. Wow, I'm willing to have an unbiased person come in here and he's told us we were wrong. Oh, no. But, of course, this ends up in the final documentary. So they're editing the living crap at everything. So they're only going to put in what's going to work for him. So he does this. So he's like, I'm totally open to to the truth and to real analysis. What he did was he said, after he was so upset about this, then he realized that the team that was the anti-Scott Peterson team, the prosecution only said they just said it was going to be within this specific period of time. And his people said it could be wider. And this guy didn't disagree that it could be wider. He said it's possible it could be wider. So then you see Pixley says, well, that means it could have been the 24th, but it could have been the 25th, the 26th, the 27th, the 28th. So the prosecution narrowed it down so much that the chances of it being on the 24th are like 20%. But we have widened that so much. We have maybe 100%. It could be from the 24th to the 28th. So maybe the baby died later, which meant Laci died later, which meant that the people who kidnapped her were waiting to find out where Scott went fishing. And they kept her someplace. And then they killed her in that van that wasn't theirs. And then they kept her, though, for 3 or 4 days, you see. And maybe she had the baby, or maybe she didn't have the baby, but the baby was bigger. And then when they found out where Scott went fishing, they said, oh, my God, this is great. Let's go there and let's put the baby where Scott is, because we want to make sure we blame him. So let's like buy a boat on the way and some anchors, which there's no evidence of. And we're a bunch of meth heads. So we're all freaked out and we're not all that bright anyway. But we're going to do all this clever stuff because we thought we should wait till we knew where he was so we could frame him. That's what they call their alternative theory. Their alternative theory. All right. Alternative theories are often put out by defense attorneys because they say, like, if you didn't run down every single shred of evidence in every direction, any witness statement, if you didn't do all that maybe the alternative theory is correct. What we can say is the police didn't do the job properly. What we think they might be slightly corrupt, or we think that they violated his constitutional rights. We think that what they're going for is not innocence again. It's a technicality project. Not that we're saying he couldn't be guilty, but we're saying there's enough evidence out there and enough witnesses who weren't paid attention to, and enough alternative theories that he couldn't, maybe he didn't do it, and therefore he should be exonerated. Because it was always reasonable. Really? Reasonable what? Reasonable doubt? Based on what? And what people are ignoring is the massive amount of evidence. And people say, oh, well, there's no physical evidence. There was a boat at the location he went to fake fish at for a boat he wasn't giving to his father-in-law with missing cement anchors he made in his little hideaway spot. He was there where her body was found. And all the other evidence that goes, he was having obviously an affair with Amber. He's a lying dog. The circumstantial evidence is overwhelming. And no, they didn't find DNA, but all the other physical evidence, it's physical evidence. It's real evidence. It's not just behaviors. It's a boat that's in the location a body is found. It is the cement anchors, which have never been accounted for. The fact he never even opened up any of the fake bait stuff to go fishing. There's so many reasons that everything points to Scott, that there really was no reasonable doubt for the jury, except for what now we have with A&E and his little defense team and the Los Angeles Innocence Project can dredge up to confuse the public, to say this is new evidence, which it isn't, which is just a few more experts coming in saying a bunch of ludicrous crap because you paid them. They're not unbiased. You paid them. And then you edit them and you put in your documentary what you want. And you present this case, which is a manipulative pile of lies. And one of the things that's interesting in this case, they never do explain why the burglars ended up putting her body in the San Francisco Bay. They skipped that whole portion. They skipped the whole bit about the orange van never being seen in her neighborhood. They skip everything that doesn't fit. They're disingenuous bunch of liars. And I'm now Pixley, well, he's a defense attorney who's a media person. Geragos, she's a defense attorney. But I tell you, I am 100% disappointed that this woman who sounded like she had a great background would play along with that garbage. So I have zero respect for her, and I'm more angry at her than anybody else. Okay, now I'm going to all your comments. If you have any questions, I'll try to see if I can answer any of them. All right. Wait a minute. I want to say thank you to somebody. Thank you very much. Wait a minute. This is from, well, how do you do this? Jillian. I don't understand how this works. Hold on a second. Jillian just was very kind and sent me a, how does this work? Why can't I find there's something wrong with the way this whole thing works on YouTube. Jillian, thank you for your $9.99 that you sent to, oh, there it is. Oh, no, that's Tollcross. Oh, thank you, Tollcross. Thank you from Scotland. Yes, thank you very much. I didn't even see yours because things get hidden. And then we have Julian here. I'm clicking on it, but I can't pull it up. Thank you, Jillian, very much for your $9.99. I appreciate that, but I can't seem to pull it up on the screen. Wait a minute, what is that? No, I know it's, wait a minute. Loretta, here's more moolah. Thank you, Loretta. Such a lazy way to dispose of a body. That fits his profile. I don't know that it was lazy at all. I mean, you're talking about Scott. I think he worked overtime. So thank you for the $9.99, Loretta. I appreciate that. But let me say this. I don't think it was lazy. I think what happened, this is what my opinion is what happened. I think he planned to kill Laci. I think it's why he bought the boat and made the cement anchors. I don't think he planned to do it that exact time. I think he probably was going to have Christmas be over and then do it, so he could put on his last performance. I think what happened is the reason I think her purse is in the car, maybe because she had it out with him. She was suspicious of him in some way or other, maybe about Amber. I don't know what she knew. People say, oh, she had no clue. I don't believe that. I think she had a clue. And I think maybe she confronted him and then they got in a fight and she tried to leave and go to her mother's, put her purse in the car, and that's when he grabbed her. And so his planned murder, I think, moved up. And that's why some of it was kind of sketchy. But I think he did plan a lot of it. Oh, here's another thing. I want to point this out because I forgot about this. This is another thing, the stupid thing they did. Okay, so they found these two notes that said something about Marine something, had some number on it. And they're like, oh my God, this proves she knew about the boat. And this was her handwriting. So they get these handwriting experts, or again, if the handwriting experts said they didn't match Laci's handwriting, they would have just not put them on the show. But they found somebody who said, oh, it's more likely her than him. So the Marine thing, she supposedly was decorating her son's new nursery with Marine stuff. Did it have anything to do with that? I don't know. But I'm going to say, if he had a boat and he was wanting to get information about Marine stuff, the most he's not going to have her call the Marine place and ask them about boating stuff. And she's not a boater. I mean, what man asks sorry, this is very sexist. What man asks a woman who knows nothing about boats or cars to call the boat or car place so they can talk about stuff that the woman has no clue about? I don't know shit about cars. And so I prefer my son to call because I'm just not into cars. He knows how to fix cars. I'll have him call the damn auto place and find out now have him take my car there so that they don't lie to him, because as a female, they're going to probably lie to me. My daughter and her husband have a boat. They're not going to ask me to go call some boating place. I don't know crap about boats. So if a guy owns a boat or a car, unless his wife is a boater and a mechanic, he's not going to ask her to go make phone calls for him about stuff she doesn't even understand. So either she was looking for some stuff that was more of a, I don't know, decoration stuff, or he told her to write this down, or it isn't even her freaking handwriting. So that's another whole stupid thing. Anyway, got distracted with that. All right, I forgot about that because I saw that in there. I'm like, oh, this handwriting analysis garbage. Handwriting analysis, by the way, the handwriting analysis was based on two little Post-it notes. You don't do handwriting analysis based on a couple Post-it notes because you can always find something that might match this or might match that. You have to have enough of a writing sample to then match it to something else. And even then, we all know that half the time is very, very questionable. So let me see what else you have to say here now. Okay. Does anybody think he's innocent? Absolutely, Michelle. Lots of people think he's innocent because, first of all, you get the women who think he's handsome, so they're going to be his girlfriend. You know, you get people who always want to be important because all these bad people are thinking he's guilty, and there's never any proof. I think he's innocent. They want to be important by thinking he's innocent. Then there are people who fall into this category. They believe what they're being fed. They and it's very. There are people who probably watch this, and once they finish watching, says, "Oh my God, this guy is innocent. Look at all the points they brought up." Well, all the points they brought up, I've shredded them, but that doesn't mean anybody has to believe me. And another channel, because this is just my channel, I'm not a big channel. You put a big channel out there, and they go, "Oh my God, this is breaking news, new evidence, blah blah blah." There are people out there who will buy it. So he probably has a very large bunch of people who are willing to say he's innocent. And if they can expand that, which is what they're trying to do, expand it through CrimeCon, shame on you, CrimeCon. Expand it through A&E, shame on you, A&E. Expand this to the general population so they can get enough traction and people angry that eventually somebody in California, like a governor or something, will say, behind the scenes, we're going to say, we're not going to go to appeal anymore. We're going to determine that there was never enough evidence taken to court in the first place. We're going to overturn it. Sometimes they have these new prosecutors that roll in, and they're very politically inclined. And so if they get enough pressure, they'll say, okay, we look back at the case and that should never have gone to court. We're going to dump the charges against him and release him. So people who are totally in favor of the jury system, the lay jury system, which I am not, I believe in a professional jury system. This one they got right. These people spent all this time determining whether he was guilty or not, and their verdict will just be tossed overnight for political reasons. Happens all the time. Adnan Syed in Maryland, same thing. They just behind the scenes just tossed his conviction. So Haymon Lee's family's like, what the heck? It went to court. The jury found him guilty, but for political reasons, you decided to let him go. And it's happening over and over and over again. And we have these things now. Let me see if I can find the name of them, because I always forget the name of them. Let me try to find it. I have, hold on a second. Patience, please. It is called, dang it. I always forget the name of these things, but let me find it here. One more second here. It's got to be here someplace. Where is it? Where is it? Come on now. I had a whole section, and now my section's missing. Of course it is. Wow, where did it go? CUIs. There, I found it. It's called. They're now called. This is a new thing called the National Registry for Exoneration, and they're using a thing called CUIs, and let me put in CUIs are. They are, just so you know what they are, because this is happening over and over again. They're called conviction integrity units. Conviction integrity units. Okay, now I'm getting some garbage here. So it went away. Let me just pull this up here. And what they're doing now is, instead of going through the appeal system, integrity unit. Okay, here we go. All right, what is that? Let me just read you what it is. A conviction integrity unit, a CIU, a specialized division within a prosecutor or district attorney's office designed to prevent, identify, and remedy wrongful convictions and sentencing injustices. So now you have the defense side, but now you have the prosecutors being on the defense side, which is really interesting. These units investigate credible claims or not so credible claims of actual innocence or not such actual innocence, using new evidence or not so new evidence, DNA testing and reviews of potential prosecutorial or police misconduct. There are over 100 of these units operating across the United States. So we have them all over Maryland right now, and that's how Adnan Syed got out. So what they're doing now is, a lot of times it's when the politics changes. So you get a new prosecutor who's a progressive prosecutor who wants to get the public on his side, and people send in, an Innocence Project sends in people that they think should be exonerated, that it was police misconduct or whatever corruption thing. And they will dump the case without going through the appeal process. They'll just dump it. And they'll say, we freed the innocent guy. It's all political. It's unbelievable. And if you believe in the justice system and the appeal system, why is this okay? It's not okay. It's absolutely not okay. But this is the new method. Oh, this is true. Mike says, witnesses often see what they want to see, not what they really saw. This is true. Witness accounts are always a little sketchy, especially if they put her picture up and say she's missing. This is what she was wearing that morning. She was walking a dog. Unless the information came in prior to her going missing, then you have to question it. Like there's one guy who said he saw one of the witnesses, the 14 witnesses, said he saw a pregnant woman being pushed into a van by some couple of homeless guys. And he was supposedly a retired police officer of some sort. He didn't even call anybody. He didn't call the police. But later he says, oh, yeah, I saw this. Okay, whatever. Angela says, hi, Pat. Just catching the lie for a moment. Personally, I think he's guilty as heck. Well, you will be in my corner then. I absolutely think he was guilty as heck. Loretta says, Drew Peterson was a better body hider. He was, because we don't know what happened to his third wife. The one he got convicted on, she was dead in the bathtub. He screwed up on that one. But yeah, but his third wife, Stacy, was put in, they believe she was put into some kind of some kind of blue thing and carried away, and they never found her body. Do I think Drew Peterson killed her? Yes. But yeah, different Peterson, but that name, there's a bunch of Petersons who are, be careful who you marry. His last name is a Peterson. Let's see. This is true. Kara says most pregnant women would stay out of any hairy situation. Yes, they would. I don't care if she thinks something shady is going on. She's unlikely to go across the street and actually confront dangerous people. That's just, really? Okay. Unless she's a Texan. Well, she might be armed. Then it would make more sense. Just about anyone would call the cops from their house. Pregnant women, not pregnant women, man. Pretty much, confronting somebody who you think is dangerous is probably not a wise thing. So you should just slither back into your house and make the phone call. Let's see what else you have. Lauren says, Pat, you're an expert. Who the hell kidnaps and murders a pregnant lady? Now, mind you, they're meth heads. So would they kill a pregnant woman? Maybe. Would they rape a pregnant woman? Maybe. It's possible. Do most serial killers choose pregnant women as victims? No. For the most part, they aren't. If a pregnant woman walks by, they're like, yeah, I'll get the next woman. Yeah, that 5'2", 110-pound girl. So generally speaking, no. But could they, under a certain circumstance? Yes. Do I believe they did? No. Let's see. I can't believe they kept a safe in their possession. Apparently, they didn't know they were going to be caught because they're stupid, and they got that safe home, and apparently they're trying to use like a crowbar, whatever, to get open. But then they got to figure out what to do with the stuff that's in it. They may have used some of the money, but the jewelry they have to, that's a much harder thing to get rid of when you got expensive jewelry. So they may have been looking for somebody who would take care of that, but apparently they got caught first. Was there a rare case of that? I don't remember that one, Johnny. Peterson defenders used one rare case where burglars did panic and kidnap a pregnant woman who walked in on them, and they didn't try to frame the husband. Yeah, I mean, do I believe it's possible? A lot of times if you walk in on the burglars, that's different than being outside and coming across the street and saying, are you burglarizing the house? So what happens is they're inside the house and the person walks in on them. There have been many home invasions where they kill the people in the house, tie them up, murder them. I mean, they can be brutal. And so if they're in the house and somebody comes in on them and they're like, shoot, they might easily kill the person. But they're going to frame the husband, a bunch of meth heads. Oh my God. It's so ludicrous. So ludicrous. I mean, I'm just watching this show going, this is the worst bunch of new evidence, new theories, proof that he's innocent. Oh my God. It's just, let me see if there's anything else I want to say. Uh, just looking at some other. Let's see the no. Just trying to see if I missed something here that I really wanted to point out. Medina Murder. I think I've covered most of it. Yeah, let me go back to your comments. Loretta says, I keep my treasure in my sock drawer. No one will think to look there. Yeah, they would, especially if the guy's looking for your underwear too. This might be that kind of guy. So don't keep valuables, generally speaking, in your house if they're worth that much. I was surprised that Medina had $5,000 worth, $50,000 worth of jewelry in their house, and it apparently was in their safe, but their safe wasn't bolted down. Now I know, and they weren't. Now, one of the interesting things is there's a lot of burglars that focus on Indian households because Indians love 22 karat gold. And sometimes they have the gold around their house because, they're going out to parties all the time. They want to put their pretty clothes on and put the gold jewel. And since I hang around Indians, I also kind of got that habit. But most Indians, what they do is they either put the stuff in a safe in their house. Some leave a few things around, and yes, they could be robbed of $5,000, $10,000. It's possible, but they put the stuff in the safe in the house. Or what they do, the smart ones, they put their stuff in a safety deposit box at the bank. And what happens is the banks get really annoyed because on like Friday night they get this influx of people from India. Either they're Indian descent or they're maybe American citizens, they're just Indian descent. But this whole bunch of Indians rolls into the bank, goes to the safe deposit box to pull out the jewelry so they can wear it to a party on the weekend. And they're very annoyed by that because most people, when they get a safe deposit box, don't even visit the safe deposit box for years because they have important papers. There may be some stuff that's important, like jewelry, but they hardly ever visit that. It's like they leave it there for like 3 or 4 years, don't even visit. But the Indians will show up every weekend because they're going to a party. So they want to get their jewelry back out. Then they have to come back on Monday, put the jewelry back in. So sometimes banks get really annoyed. I think it's pretty funny. So, but true. So, yeah. Let's see. Hold on a second. Hold on. I'm having, what the heck is this? Don't do this. Oh, wait. Okay, sorry. I'm having little problems here. Smoking meth in the alley. Somebody was saying they could have burned up the van smoking meth. That's possible. But a lot of times it's because they've committed a robbery and they've stolen the vehicle, committed the robbery. They just burn up the vehicle because that gets rid of all the evidence. So, good point, Mike. You can always find something that doesn't happen every day. That does not mean it's connected to a crime. Exactly. So when she said that, I'm like, oh, please stop. It's embarrassing. You're saying these things that I just know are garbage. It's this nonsensical thing to say, but you're saying it because you're trying to support the whole Innocence Project bullcrap. Well, I think she's been hired by, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe she's totally independent and totally unbiased, but I don't see it. Let's see. Let me see what else you got to say here. Okay, wait a minute. Biggest thing also. He told Amber he lost his wife and bam, she's dead. This is true. About the day he bought his boat, apparently, he told Amber that his wife was dead. And then 2 weeks later, she's dead. I'm not even getting into the whole case issues because all the things he did with Amber and, he was supposed to be at the vigil for her, but he's actually telling Amber he's in Paris. The guy's lying constantly. He's a lying dog. Remember he ran away to try to go to Mexico, change his hair and all that crap. And he said he was just trying to get away from the media. I mean, there's anybody who's paid attention to this case, you could read a ton of stuff on his very bizarre behaviors. I was only focusing on what I saw in this docuseries, which was supposed to enlighten us with all the new evidence, which didn't exist. Oh my God. Yeah, poor Laci, I tell you. That's true. Kimmy said, forensic pathologists and medical examiners testified in Scott Peterson's trial that gas buildup and tissue decomposition inside the body can naturally expel an unborn fetus, which I believe is exactly what happened. But you don't hear that here. You don't hear the two sides here because this is a defense orchestrated docuseries, period. Yes, it is known as a coffin birth. That's correct. Postmortem fetal extrusion. Thank you, Kimmy. That is absolutely true and very interesting. Let's see. I find Jillian. Is that the one I finally was looking for, Jillian? Thank you. Let's see. Lauren, there is no mod here, but Pat can put people in the naughty corner if they misbehave. Yeah, I don't have mods. I'm too lazy. And for the most part, I let people speak unless they're being jackasses. And if you're being a jackass and I don't see it, you get away with it. If you're being a completely rude, horrible person, yeah, well, I will get rid of you. But yeah, it's true. Sometimes I don't see it. So correct. Same thing with my YouTube channel. By the way, so if somebody is rude on my YouTube channel, they're calling me names, they're calling me a fraud, a scammer, a racist. I mean, I've been called all kinds of things. Not just a differing opinion, but just completely rude. I will then block them, block their comment, and block them forever. But I found out that YouTube only shadow bans them, so they don't even know they've been blocked. I just found that out. I'm like, you mean for all these years I've been thinking, I don't want them to think that their information is going out to people and that I'm being bothered by it. I just want to immediately block it, get rid of them. But they're thinking that their stuff is being seen. I'm like, thank you, YouTube. So, you shadow ban them. I want them to know they've been banned. I want them to know that their bad behavior ends up getting banned. But apparently it's not true. Now you all won't see rest of the people will not see their comments. It's true. But that's not why I banned them. I banned them because I wanted them to know that you can't come and be rude. Pat, don't even see that we're sending money to her. I'm trying. Sometimes I can't see it, Loretta. I mean, it's like I don't even know where it is. Sometimes it shows up, and sometimes it seems like it doesn't. So I do apologize if I ignore you, and I thank you very, very much. But Orly says, how can I be more horrified of this man? Yes, convict him of both deaths. It's just he actually knew the name. They actually named their baby. And he still killed her and their baby, in my opinion. So, and I can say that because he has been convicted, so I can't be sued for saying he murdered his wife and his baby. I can't. Well, that's true. The only reason the scumbag is getting any support is because some not very bright, narcissistic women used to find him cute. Well, he's not a bad-looking dude. It does help if you're gonna get convicted. It helps if you're not bad looking. It really does. And we see that with okay, somebody help me out here. The guy who killed the wife and two babies out in Colorado. Give me his name because I always blank on names. What's his name? He was a good looking dude too. And so a lot of people think he's innocent. I'm like, the evidence is ridiculously overwhelming in that. How could you think that guy's innocent? It's just unbelievable. Watts, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Yeah, Chris Watts. Unbelievable. And people like, oh, I don't think he did it. Oh my God. That's Mangione, Luigi Mangione. Believe it or not, we also have, it's amazing how many women go for creepy guys. So, but I guess the whole point is that for some women, being hooked, being connected, and even in their own mind to somebody famous gives them fame, makes them feel important. And the defense uses this. The defense knows that if they can push this kind of thing, that they can get enough of a group of people to then fight for this person to be saved them from the meanies. Okay, now I do see this. Now, Molly Thompson, thank you, Molly. Molly just sent me $20. Thank you very much. She says, great job. And it's really weird because I see this, Molly, but I can't figure out how to put it on the screen because it's separate from the rest. It's annoying to me because I don't do open lives very often. So I rarely have super stickers. I just don't usually do it. So I don't even know how it works. Well, wait a minute. No, that's Gina. No, did I say? See, this is Gina. Thank you, Gina. You're amazing, Pat. So brilliant. I don't know about that. Here's a cup of coffee for later. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. I can't figure out where the stuff is. Wait a minute. What's this? Maybe I should read up on this. I'll go to AI and try to figure this stuff out. Michelle also sent $1.99. Doing these lives will get your views up. Believe me, guys, I'm very comfortable and aware that I'm a smaller to mid-sized YouTube channel. I don't do gossip. I don't play games. I don't do Nancy Guthrie every day. Although I could use a vacation to Arizona, but I don't do that kind of nonsense. And so it's not the best way to get more subscribers and to make money. But I'm okay with it. I can't do that stuff. So it's just not me. So yeah, but thank you for the thought. That's Jillian. What the heck? I can't figure this stuff out. Why don't they make this so you can see things? I don't know where they should have it. When you click on it, it should show up on the screen, but I don't see it. It's nuts. Oh, there's Molly. Wait, I found you, Molly. Wait a minute. Let me see if I did it right. No, it's just that there's so many comments. That's why it's hard to see anything. Really, so many comments. Okay, I can't make that move. Wait, where is it? Where is it, Molly? There we go. See, Molly. There you are, Molly. But there were like 200 comments, and so I have to scroll through everything to find this. I don't know. Maybe there's another way to do this, but I can't figure it out. I'm going to research that. But I do this so rarely, I forget to research. But thank you very much. Trying to see. Okay. Pat, I was wondering if you had any thoughts on how Laci was killed, the cause of death. I think she was most likely, I think she was strangled. She could have been smothered, but I personally think she might have been going to the car, trying to escape. And I think he might have just pulled her out and strangled her right there in the garage or wherever the hell he pulled her into the house and strangled her. That's why I think it was more of something that happened instantaneously. And it's hard to smother people unless they're already in the bed. You know what I mean? It's like, can't run around chasing them with a pillow usually. So what it usually means is that you grab them by the throat, which is a very common thing for men to do. For women, they get angry with. And then once you strangle them, the problem is, there's no other reason that they were strangled except you did it. So then you really have to get rid of the body. There's no other way around it. Smothering, babies are smothered more often than we'd like to think, and it's called the SIDS death because it's hard to tell the difference. So, and she was sleeping. She was like sleeping in the bed, and he said, "This is my moment." He could have done that. I just have a problem with the person in the car. I just think that's weird. I think the person would still be in the home. She was just going to go walk the dog. I say, maybe take the keys out. So it looks like she just took the keys and went. But it's almost like somehow the purse was in the car and he didn't realize it, or he didn't think about it. Not that he didn't realize it, but she was trying to escape and she's going to go to a mom's house or something, and he grabs her, he strangles her. And then he's like, his focus is now on the body, not on her purse. And so later on, the purse ends up in the car. And he's like, oh yeah, when she goes walk the dog, she puts the purse in the car. Because he has to come up with some reason, but it's kind of stupid. So, yeah. Oh, well, that's a good point, Gina says. The thing is, just like that Chris in Colorado who killed his wife and 2 girls and their unborn son, he made up his mind just like Scott. It's like they just shut off and go for the new woman. And the new woman is not really important, by the way. We see this over and over again, where people annihilate their families and go off with some stripper or some woman they're dating or whatever. And it isn't because they're in love with the other woman. The real reason is because they're tired of being married and having children around them. They want to return to the single life. And it's just being a parent, being a husband and being a parent is a lot of freaking work. And while some of them get to the point where they get married, some of them even have the kids and they enjoy them for a while, but then, those little buggers grow older and they're like starting to talk back. And they're like, the kid, 7 years now, 7-year itch. Most people have a 7-year itch. They don't do this, but some of them are like, man, now I got this wife. I got a 6 and 4-year-old. Little buggers are just tiring me out. And I got this babe on the side. And if the family just disappeared. And by the way, people say, well, why didn't you just get divorced? when you divorce and your family does not go away, you end up in the court system. You have to pay alimony. No, not anymore. Take that back. Sorry. Child support. Alimony's long gone. You have to pay child support. And on top of that, those stupid children will bug you for the rest of your life. But if they happen to all die because some murderer came in, whatever, then they're just gone. And you're free. And you can think of them nicely, like, oh, they were such wonderful people. I really miss my kids. And you can use that in the future. It's like, oh my God, my whole family got murdered. That's you can get dates with that, stuff like that. And you can have pleasant memories, and then you're off and you're free. You're free again to have all the women you want and to live the single life. That's really why, not because they're in love with anybody, because they're psychopaths. They don't love people. So was he in love with Amber? Hell no. Was Watts in love with his girlfriend? Well, by the way, she thought he was divorcing. Amber didn't even know he was freaking married. But Chris Watts's girlfriend thought he was divorcing because he gave the story that a lot of divorce guys who aren't really divorced give. They're like, we're really separated. And, we're not separated yet out of different houses, but I sleep in the basement. She sleeps up there. We're done. And so the girl thinks, oh my God, this guy's handsome. And he seems to care about his kids. And he wants to make things, wants to have a good divorce. As I always said to people, don't date anybody unless they got the divorce paper in their hand. And you go, okay, you're absolutely divorced. Make sure of that, because otherwise, you don't know what you're getting into. Just don't know. Okay, let's see what else you have to say here. Hold on a second. What the heck? Let's see. Where is this? Oh, rats. Thank you very much, rats. I found yours. I guess it was in the row. Thank you for all you do. Thank you so much, rats. You've been always wonderful to me. I appreciate that. I do very much. Let's see. Kimmy says a trauma to the neck might even explain the head coming off more easily from being weighed down. Maybe. I mean, it's one of those things. 4 months in the water, all kinds of things can happen. Animals, rocks, weights. Have no clue. Oh, did I mention that? Oh, I don't even know if I mentioned this. Shoot, I meant to mention this. Okay, so by the way, I forgot completely. They were saying, the defense team was saying that if he goes out in his boat and he tries to dump her. So here they did this video, and videos are funny. It's like, okay, did you do the video 100 times and have the prosecution try to make sure that he could stay in the boat and dump her body? No, they do this video, and oh my goodness, the boat turns over, and so therefore he couldn't have done it. So there's no way he took her out in the boat. Scott Peterson didn't take her out in this little boat and was able to dump her over the side. The boat would have capsized. Okay, so let's go back to the boat again. I believe. Where's the other picture? Where's my other picture? Shoot, where is it? Oh, right here. Okay, I believe that at the stern, I think, is it the stern? Because I'm a boat idiot. Okay, the back of the boat. Anyway, here's a guy sitting in the back of the boat. That would be like Scott's boat. Now, in my opinion, you don't do it from the middle of the boat. You do it from the back of the boat. And what you do, in my opinion, because I know nothing about this and I haven't actually done a whole crime scene reenactment to test it out, I would take her body. I would put her body up on that seat. She could slump her in there. Then I'd attach the weights, the cement weights. Then I would get on the opposite side of her and push her over, because it's easy to push a person out of the boat like this, but you get on the other side and you just push them over. And I think you could do that easily without the boat capsizing. But let's say the boat did capsize. So I'm going to ask you profilers in the chat room. Let's assume that he tried and the freaking boat capsized anyway. And it went over. Oh my God. Tell me what you think would have happened then. I want to get your opinion. So I like people profiling and doing crime scene analysis. Okay, because that's what this channel is about. Thank you very much, Beth. Thank you very much. Your $10 is wonderfully accepted and will help this channel. And I've always loved your thing, Beth of a salesman. I think that's brilliant. I think it's brilliant. I love it. Absolutely love it. Okay, I'm going down here now. He crawled back in the boat. Okay. Yeah, it's possible, but what else? What else? Why? How could this work? He just got back inside his little boat, maybe. Yeah, okay. You would say Laci went with him and fell overboard. Probably not. Let's say people saw him, the boat upside down, folks. What if they saw the boat upside down and they went to help poor Scott because his boat is capsized and he's in the water? What would happen then? Tell me what would happen then. There was an outboard motor on it. It wasn't a rowboat. The body would still sink. Yes, it would. So if the body would still sink, what would they see when they arrived at the boat? Remember, she's got the weights on her, and the boat goes over. He's going to be on the side of the boat trying to crawl in. Where is her body going to be? It's weighted down. Where is her body going to be? It's just Scott in distress. That is correct. Poor Scott. Yes, he's in distress because that's exactly right, Michelle. They'd help him with a boat and she's still at the bottom. By the time they got there, she'd be sinking. It's not like she's floating on the water, folks. She's sunk. They're going to get there and they're just going to help Scott ride his boat. And then it's just going to buzz off. Yeah, she's at the bottom of the ocean. She's out of sight. That is correct. Out of sight on the ocean floor. Right. So that's it. So even if the defense is correct and the boat capsized because it was really hard to deal with, still it wouldn't make any damn difference. He would still go home and say, I was over in my boat and I was fishing because, I've never used a boat before. And I think capsized because it was really rocky. People helped me. And that doesn't prove that she was on the boat, that he put her in the water, because we're at the same situation. Her body showed up where he went fishing, where he took the boat out, regardless of whether people saw him capsize a boat or didn't see him capsize a boat. It doesn't make any damn difference because the whole issue is still the same. So the defense making this whole thing about he couldn't have even done it. Get out of here. But you think some burglars who didn't even have a van somehow, got her in the little white car, and then they moved her to a van and they kept her for 5 days, and then they killed her, and then they burned the van up. But they used the van to go to the San Francisco Bay and dump her in it, but they didn't use cement weights, but she did still have cement weight. The whole thing is so stupid. And they're trying to just fool you with a whole stupid scenario. There's another possibility, there's another theory. Well, goody for you, but your theory is garbage. The theory, when I do a crime scene analysis, my determinations are based on evidence, not just I made up some stuff. It's not like I just said, okay, well, what I really think happened was, I think that aliens came down and there's no reason, there's not proof that there aren't aliens. I think she was out walking the dog and the aliens just came down and picked her up. And then the dog, she couldn't hold on to the dog. So she let the dog go and the aliens took her to the ship. And then they flew over the San Francisco harbor and they decided to dump her there. I mean, you can make up anything you want to. Doesn't make it, it's not based on evidence because there will be no evidence there were aliens. Yeah, it's that simple thing. Oh, yeah, well, that's a good point. Dark Side says, we've all been duped by a case or two, but once you see through the BS, you can't unsee it. Yeah, I mean, defense attorneys, some of them are very good. They're very clever. They're very manipulative, which again is why I'm against lay juries. I call 12 people off a bus stop. Nice people. But they get 12 people that the defense attorney is trying to make it. It's not people who have any kind of work in like my field. I could never be it. They would never let me on a jury. So they get these people, nice people, but they have zero analysis ability for crime, for psychopathy, for forensics. They don't know any of that stuff. So they have to just listen to these two people who are both experts telling the exact opposite stuff. And they who are not experts are supposed to decide which expert is correct. It's the most ludicrous crap in the world. And yet we still believe in that system. There's a good example. There's a on TikTok, there's this little video, and it's a woman saying, she happens to be a Black woman, she's got a Black teenage son. And she says, my son is being made fun of because he makes purses for girls. And then there's this video of him, and he's cutting out this leather, and he's decorating it. He's using paint, these paints. It works very hard to make this absolutely gorgeous purse, which is usually like a favorite story, like might be, I don't know, whatever favorite story girls would have. And it decorates the whole, it carves, all the it's beautiful, beautiful work. And the claim is, so when you're looking at this and you think, this poor young man, and he's made this beautiful, beautiful purses for girls, and here's his mom out there trying to help get people to. She says, are these ugly purses, or can you support my son? So people, they look and say, oh, this young man. He said, he's not really a wealthy young man. It shows a backdrop where I guess they're struggling or something. So I saw like 5,000 comments. And people are like, oh my God, yes, he makes beautiful purses, Mom. And so a lot of people are, they're trying to be kind and decent people, supporting this young man, knowing that there's, some people who are Black in the United States or wherever struggling more than white people. That's how they put that thing in there. Anyway, he's a very handsome young man, very nice mom, and all this stuff. And 5,000 people are like, oh my God, I want to buy these purses. Where do I buy them? And then the young man tells them where they can go to this website. And I'm like, the purses are like $50 on the website. And I'm like, if you make a purse like that, it's going to be like $200, and you're going to sell it at the craft show. It's going to take you a frick long time. So now got 5,000 people, hundreds of people now running to the website to buy his purses, which there's all kinds of choices. There's like 5 different choices, and then there's these other things. And it's like, he couldn't make these if he tried in the amount of time that he has. And he wouldn't make them for that price. You are fools. This is 100% AI. It's AI. The boy doesn't exist. The young man doesn't exist. The mommy doesn't exist. They don't exist. They're total AI. And their website is from a Chinese factory. Their factory made purses from China. And yet 5,000 people are all over this. They're so kind people. They want to help this young man. It's like, it's just, a teenage boy who's, he wants to make girl purses. He's such a sweet, and he does. He comes off as a sweet. I mean, watch him make all these things, and it's amazing. It's such nonsense. But then you'll find 10 other videos with different kinds of people making these purses. And then you'll find people making these resin lights with like Dungeons and Dragons or things in them. Are these ugly lights? Same thing. They take you to a Chinese store where you buy this stuff, and all of it's AI. And yet out of the 5,000 people, I just kept scrolling. I maybe saw 3 other people besides myself saying, this is AI. It's complete fake. You're being conned. And most people didn't know it. These are the same people that show up as a jury, and they can be conned easily by people like the Innocence Project and the people that show up saying he's innocent. And it's because most people do not understand evidence to that extent. And it's when experts tell you what, and you got all these different people that have been brought together to tell you that what you're seeing and what you're hearing is the truth. People believe it because they have good hearts and they want to believe things. Don't buy a purse from this kid because he's not real. It's a real damn shame. I saw a jewelry one. It was AI saying an older woman's business was going out of business. Again, there you go. They use something that they will say things like, they're all over the place. Like there's a woman on X and then they steal people's pictures. So there's a woman holding up this beautiful like quilt, and she goes, my husband, I spent like 500 hours making this quilt, and my husband says it's ugly. Do you think it's ugly? And she's an older woman. So then it gives you sadness because this woman's my age and her husband is a meanie. And so it's like, oh, your quilt is beautiful. So they try to find something that will make you feel bad for the person who's selling, whether the person be a person of color, an older woman. So there's some sob story. It's a sob story somewhere in there. And people fall for it over and over and over again. And somebody's making a crap load of money off of the people that are falling for this stuff. And that's the same type of methodology that the defense attorney uses. And if we had a professional jury, you'd have people like me who do not buy a purse from this nice young man who's doing all this hard work. I'm not buying a resin lamp. I'm not feeling sad for that woman who's my age, whose husband is so mean to her about her beautiful quilt. I'm not falling for it because I know better, because this is my field. I want a professional jury because that will stop these defense attorneys from playing these games. But yeah, that's my rant for the day. I read somewhere it says like somewhere if you 90% of what we see online will be AI by 2025. We're up to about 50%. 50% of TikTok, YouTube, X, and Facebook. Almost up to 50% now, AI. It's really frustrating. I mean, AI can be a useful tool. I do a lot of research on AI because for whatever reasons, I don't understand how it works. I think it's magic. AI can come up with information just like that. But AI is killing my channel. I'm about 40% down in income. I've lost, I used to get a reasonable amount of subscribers every month. It's just dropped radically because my shows don't get promoted by the algorithm anymore. They're pushing all the AI stuff because AI feeds people what they want. They analyze it and they say, you want this emotion, you want this, and they can create the thing in like 10 minutes. I have to work at it. In 10 minutes, they can steal my information, by the way. They can steal my stuff right off my channel, mix it with other stuff they stole it, and put out a brand new video in 10 minutes. And with a eye-catching thumbnail and all that crap. And people buy into it. And so that AI will get like 100,000 views. My channel will get 3,000 views. So AI is making like 30 times more than I make. And who is the algorithm going to pick? They're going to pick the AI channel to promote because YouTube makes money off of algorithm picking AI. Facebook makes money off of AI. X, TikTok, all of them make money off of AI. And if they have the choice between being honorable and ethical and making money, well, we all know how that ends up. It's a mess. I don't know what's going to happen. There are certain YouTubers I know who do the same thing without telling whose channel. That's true. My stuff has been stolen from other channels by other channels. That's true. But still, it doesn't do the damage that AI does. The fake. Oh, that's so frustrating. The fake animal. Now, if you have a funny one where you like have an animal, which AI, you use AI to make a funny little, a funny little animal video, which everybody knows is fake, right? I don't mind that because it's used as an art technique, and you know it's fake because the animals are talking. But when they make a video that pretends that the video is real, there's a woman out there who has, what the heck is? What's that? Shoot. What's that really vicious animal? What's that really? It's Australian animal, the really vicious one. And there's a great video about that animal. Does anybody know the name of that one? Okay? Now I'm bugged, so I have to look it up. Not the chimp. No, honey badger. Thank you, honey badger. Honey badger. By the way, if you've never seen the funny honey badger video where the guy does this nature thing, honey badger don't give a shit. That is the funniest damn video ever. That's a guy great. It's huge. He deserved the money that he made off that. It was funny. But I couldn't believe it. There's this woman, and she lives in a house, and she has a pet honey badger, and she's got video after video, and people are like, "Oh my God, I can't believe you got the honey badger to be so sweet." And she's got the honey badger, on her couch with her, and she's showing the honey badger walking with a leash. She's done all these things as a honey badger. She's not real. The honey badger isn't real. It's 100% AI. And then there's other channels where a person like me, a person who's like, even older than me, like 82 years old, a very attractive 82-year-old woman, and she's got a whole channel with like 100,000 followers, 500,000 followers, and she's like showing how at 82 years old, she has this wonderful life. Look at the dress I bought. Look at the purse I have. I want to sit here and tell you how to live life at 82. Only she's not a real woman. 100% AI. And of all the people out there, I'd say less than 1%, if even that, figure out that she's just 100% AI. And even if you tell people she's AI, they won't believe you. And they don't go to AI. You can go to AI, you can go to Google or Grok, and you can say, is this woman real? And the AI will say, no, she's AI. But people don't do their research. So that's the problem. So people will believe a lot of what they're fed. So honey badger don't care. Oh, I love that. I just absolutely love that. So put in honey badger don't care. You'll come up with it, and it's one of the best things. I just love that. It makes me laugh every time. I think I've watched it like 20 times. Still, yeah, that's true. That's honey badger don't give a. That's correct. It's awesome. Yeah, this is true. I agree with you. It's like my friend made an AI video of himself in a group therapy with gummy bears. That's okay, because if you're using AI as an artistic medium, that's cool, and it's funny and it's nice. You know, all those babies that were representing political people, and they were all talking. All the babies are talking. Those were hysterical. And then there's the babies. They're not political, but they're babies. Maybe my favorite one is where the baby goes. The baby's starting to walk down the hall and stuff, and somebody says, "Where are you going, baby?" He goes, I don't like these parents I got there. Poor shit. I'm getting out of here. It's funny because you know it's not true. You know it's art, and I don't have a problem with art. I have a problem with things being presented as real to fool people, and I think that's just sick. I don't think Scott killed her in the car. Oh, I don't think he killed her in the car. I think she went. I think he got her back in the house. Yeah. So cowardly. I don't know if he was a coward. People always call killers cowards, and I have to say, if you're killing, you're not that cowardly. You're a psycho, but you're not that cowardly. Serial killers aren't cowards. People keep saying that. You're a coward. I'm like, I don't know, but having to jump out of a bush and rape and strangle a woman on a bike path and then drag her body away is not cowardly. It's sick. Well, that's pretty brave, actually. I disagree with the coward label for the most part. But did he kill her in the car? I'm not saying he did. I'm just saying I wonder why her purse is in the car, because that doesn't make sense to me. So I personally think she might have tried to leave, got to the car, put it through her purse, and was trying to get in the car. Maybe he pulled her out. I don't know. He could have killed her in the house. It's true. I just don't know why her purse is in the car, and I don't believe that she would put it in the car when she went walking the dog. That makes no sense. So I don't know. I don't know if she drowned in the tub. No. Now, Peterson's wife ended up dead in a tub. I'm sure they checked that out, but I don't think she drowned in a tub. Oh, in this case, the Dodo channel. Yeah. People thought he had now this is what happens. He's got this cat that travels with him, and people think that's fake. And the sad part is when people do real things, people think you're fake or your animal's fake or whatever. And so you always have to say, is that real? Every time I watch them, I'm like, is it real? I have to really do a lot of research because I want to know it is real if it's real. I want to appreciate it if it's real. By the way, guys, I'm real. I guarantee you I'd look way better than this if I wasn't. But anyway. Let's see what other comments you have. Honey badgers are pretty amazing. They're fascinating creatures, vicious little critters, but they're pretty fascinating. But I don't think you have one as a pet. I mean, by the way, that chimp thing you're talking about, I was in Egypt. I went to the Egyptian zoo with my daughter, and they said, "You want to see the lion? I want to pet a lion." I'm like, and people say, well, that's because they sedate them. But they kept saying, we can't bring the lion out yet. He's not in good mood. And then they finally dragged this lion out, and they said, pet it quick. And I'm like, and I got a great picture. And then they said, you want to hold, they said, do you want to hold a baby gorilla? I'm like, oh, a baby gorilla. And then they came out and they sicked this teenage chimp on me. And I'm like, there's just not a gorilla. And the thing was like, it did kiss me. So I have a picture of me kissing the chimp. And people were like, stay away from my husband. Anyway, it was fun. Inject some common sense. I like common sense. Let's see what else you have to say here. He looks handsome, release him. That should be the reason. Absolutely. The house. The cat in Africa, are you talking about a Bengal? Because I used to own a Bengal cat, but I don't think I'd want that in my house. But Bengal cats are okay. But yeah, there are. Cabarrus says there are always defenders of these killers. That is always true. Well, I doubt he will ever get a retrial, but their voice is calling for it. And the thing is, there's always going to be people, and that's the way it is. People who believe Ted Bundy is really a great guy, and he's dead now, so at least he's not so great anymore. But our system should not be promoting this, and I think the way the whole system has turned out, where the media has been pushes anything they can push, regardless of whether there's any truth to it. Journalism is pretty much dead, and they don't care whether it's true or not. They just getting it out there. 24-hour-a-day journalism all the cable channels has really changed things. Internet is changing. 24-hour internet has changed things. Also good things, but also very bad things. And I think we need to rethink our justice system and the way we handle things. But I seem to be screaming into the abyss. So that's very nice. You're beautiful, Pat. Yeah, I was when I was 19. Hey, come on, I'm a realist. I'm a total realist. I'm like, it's all downhill from now. Hopefully, there's other things in my life. That's the way I look at life. I mean, I accept life as it comes, and we go through our stages of life, and it is what it is. And I have fortunately have good health right now. Not on any medications. Don't go to the doctor. I'm happy about that. I travel. Everything's good. But we get older, and I don't like needles and knives, so I'm not going to the plastic surgeon anytime soon. But I normally will use the thing that improves you. And all my thumbnails, I look way better than people say, "Oh, your thumbnail looked good," and then when I clicked on the video, you didn't look that good. I'm like, yeah, but I don't want to look at all these thumbnails and not see myself looking better. He left the person in the car after letting the dog out and leaving the voicemail. I don't know why I just don't think he put the person in the car, because it doesn't make sense to me. I mean, some people think that's he did that on purpose to make it look like she went to walk the dog, but I just think that's a very bizarre thing to do. So I don't know that I buy it. That's Kimmy says, I have a photo of my mom when she was young posing with a lion. It was sedated at Magic Mountain in the 70s. The look of terror she had. Yeah, they do. A lot of the tiger pictures are sedated tigers. They feed them really well, then they sedate them. So yes, that's true. But I was in Egypt, and I don't think they did. I really don't. Egypt's one of those places where, if the lion eats you, the chimp rips your face off, you don't have a lawsuit. You're just screwed. You don't think he's aged well? Nobody ages all that well. I mean, he's in prison. I mean, he gets older. People always do that. They're like, oh my God, what happened to that person? Like 30 years? 30 years will do you in. 10 years will do you in. So he's where he belongs, in my opinion. Let's see. Just join. Hope nobody believes he's innocent. I know I can't see all the comments because there's hundreds of them here. Somebody here may be saying he's innocent. Sometimes I get a person on and they will ignore everything I say, and they're just there to do whatever diatribe they're on, and they use the chat room as their platform. If I see it, I will eliminate it, but sometimes I just don't see it. So yeah. I didn't. There's a lot of people who've gotten out who are innocent, who are not innocent. As I said, I've looked at. If you could look through some of my videos, I do quite a number of videos on somebody that the Innocence Project got out, and that they're innocent, and they just got like $5 million for being wrongfully incarcerated, and I'm always like, okay, maybe this is the one that they're really innocent. And then I go back and I do my research, and I go back into the appeal process, and I see all the court documents. I'm like, no, boy, are they guilty. And it frustrates me because people never see that. And even if there's a technicality that gets them out, again, it should be the technicality project. He's probably guilty, but he was found guilty for a good reason. But the technicalities mean that we can't let our government get away with this stuff. So therefore, we're just going to say he's out. But oh, he's innocent. It's this poor man. He spent 30 years, and then he says things like, "I don't have any anger with me, and I'm not mad at anybody." That's probably because you did it. I mean, if you put me in prison for 30 years for a crime I did not commit, I'm going to be pissed off. I'm going to be real pissed off. I'm never going to be nice. Never, never. Now, there was a case, which I covered. It was my case on the Anderson Cotta case, which I've covered because I did work on that case. And there was a detective who managed to get an innocent man convicted, not for Anderson Cotta's murder, but for another woman's murder in the same area. And he got him convicted. And they did DNA. Well, there was another detective who was a great guy. And he said, "I don't think that guy did it. I think this other guy did it." Timothy Spencer, he was the first, I think, serial killer DNA case in the country. Timothy Spencer of Virginia. He was a cat burglar who also was a serial killer. And this wonderful detective said, "I think he did it." He fought his own department. Finally, the DNA did connect him to murders in Richmond and also murders in Arlington, Virginia, and to that murder that the other guy got convicted for. And when they got that guy out of prison, he was not happy. He did not say, "I forgive everybody." And he wasn't even in there. I think he was in there for 5 years or something like that, maybe. And he came out and he was pissed. He was angry as all get out because he did not commit the murder. And he was furious. So when you get out after 30 years and you say you don't hold any, I found, whatever, God and all this stuff. And therefore I forgive everybody. And I don't feel, I'm going to say you did it and you got a big payday too. So you're pretty happy. I'm a sexy cougar. I haven't cougared anybody in recent years. So, I'm not sure. I'm looking at somebody said this particular murder. Sometimes I can't remember whether I might not know that murder yet, or a person who was exonerated. Sometimes I've actually done it, but I forget because people don't realize I've been out here 5 years, and along with my own cases, I've done 250 case shows, and I've talked at the hangout during the week. I talk about all kinds of cases, and sometimes I talk about cases that don't. It's not worth doing a 2-hour show on, but maybe I want to talk about them for 20 minutes. So I cannot remember all those names and all those cases. So yeah, that is possible. Maybe he strangled Laci in the bedroom. Cops examined the bed and saw bedding smushed down in a body shape. Scott did some floor cleaning. Maybe you're right, Valley Girl. I just don't understand the person in the car. Bugs me. Maybe she put the person in the car and he dragged her back in the house and pushed her onto the bed and strangled her. I don't know. We can make up scenarios. It doesn't really matter because that part the prosecution can't exactly prove. But I can say she wasn't shot. She wasn't stabbed. That the autopsy can prove that. And therefore, I'm pretty sure she was smothered or strangled, most likely strangled. And where exactly, I don't know. But I'm pretty sure that he dumped her off a boat. and burglars had nothing to do with it. So, oh, that is also true. Yes, thank you. Not myself. I feel like people have tried to bend real crime into a television version of crime. That's true. They want everything to be a secret police conspiracy or a serial killer without any predictable behavior. Oh, it's very true. I mean, sometimes the problem is people the fantasy gets out of control, and they'll fantasize just about anything. And like in the Casey Anthony case, the fantasy that was created by Jose Baez was, oh, maybe her father drowned Kaylee. I'm like, what the heck are you talking about? But it worked. The jury said, maybe Casey didn't do it. Maybe her dad did it because maybe her dad was molesting Casey and Kaylee. Who knows? So the defense just created a fantasy, and they decided that was enough for them to have reasonable doubt. I was so pissed when that case. I was so angry about that case. I couldn't believe it. Bunny says, Oh, you're only 38? Come on now. It's only 10 years. 38-year-olds look good. I think I looked great until somewhere around after 50. At 50, I still think I looked really good. Then 60 came, and now 70. I mean, and once you pass like 60, it's like really hard. But, I started looking like my grandmother. I'm like, but hey, it's life. Life is like that. So, we have to go ahead and live life as best we can. And I just won't be getting any 30-year-olds. Men who are interested in me are 90 now. Pat, you make a terrible juror, too smart. Well, they never would let me on. Absolutely not. Only one time that I ever went for a jury selection, the defense attorney just looked at me and said, thank you, and excused him like seconds. So, yeah. So yeah. Luckily, I'm 70 now, and I wrote them and said, look, I don't, at 70, you don't even have to go to jury duty anymore. And I didn't want to waste my time going in for these stupid jury selections just because it annoyed me, because I have to spend half a day there just for them to thank and excuse me. And it just pissed me off too much. So luckily, I'm 70 now, and I don't have to. Spain made it. Is that who won? Christoph? All right. Who's left, Christoph? This is the World Cup. And I didn't realize the World Cup was going on today. I wouldn't have done the show. But, I wasn't paying attention. But so Spain's in it. Who's left? I want to know who's left. See what else you have to say. Oh, thank you, Danny. I saw this one. I thought maybe it was a habit to forget her purse in the car. My husband forgets his wallet in the car all the time and leaves it on the seat overnight. Maybe in the garage. I think this was an outside car. I mean, it can happen, but the way he said she put her purse in the car when she went to dog walk. That's the part that bothered me. Not that she must have forgotten it. I can guess I can see that, but that she would purposely put the car with her phone and her car keys and the house keys in the car in plain sight, so people walking by could go, oh man, I can steal a purse. At least, I don't know, maybe I'm missing something. And again, I haven't looked at this case in years. Maybe I'm misinterpreting where the purse was, but I don't think so. Maybe. Tell me if I'm wrong. I could be. I don't know the cameras. I don't think there were a lot of cameras. 2002, we're talking over 20 years ago. Yeah, there wasn't much of that. Now, like our house now has cameras everywhere outside, and including my cat camera inside, so I can see my feral cat come and go. So, we're much more camera prone today. So that's kind of wonderful for law enforcement. But without that, it's if there were cameras out there, we would know if some van pulled up across the street and Laci went out and got attacked. And a matter of fact, there were enough cameras out there. The guys probably wouldn't have done that because they would be on camera. But yeah, probably didn't have that. So she may have gone in to pee and left the purse in the car. Well, she was supposed to be taking, but see, this is from Scott. Scott said when she takes the dog for a walk, she leaves her purse in the car. I'm sorry. By the way, if you actually look into this case, when I'm even talking about his behaviors here and all, you can multiply that by 100 because this is barely the surface of it. I'm only talking about the new evidence from the docuseries. So I'm not talking about everything else that this character did and all the other suspicious stuff. There's a ton of it. I'm just talking about the things that they claimed that they said this is new evidence. The 14 witnesses that saw her walking, the people that saw a van in front of her house, the van with the blood in it, the orange van with the blood in it, that the things that they said. That's what I'm addressing here, not all of them. Because if you were in court, you would have heard all the other stuff, which is probably why you got convicted. It wasn't a small amount of stuff. He's arrogant, stupid, and guilty, says Loretta. I disagree with you, Lauren. I think they did prove the case. I don't think that they didn't prove it. This is where if it was a professional jury, I think if I was on a professional jury of 5 people, we would have all convicted her. They did prove it. The problem is the defense made you believe they didn't prove it. And I don't think that's true. There was overwhelming evidence that she did it. The defense came up with a fake story about her father maybe killing Kaylee. And so that's what they fell for that stuff. They fell for a bad thing. And now people say the prosecution didn't prove it. I don't think that's true at all. Now, are there some cases where the prosecution didn't prove it? the Melissa Wolfenberger case, which a Wolfenbarger case recently, where they tried to prove her husband, the Atlanta case, they tried to prove her husband killed her years and years ago. That was the worst case I've ever seen the prosecution put on. Zero evidence, zero, to prove the husband had anything to do with it. Could he have? Sure, but did they prove it? Not in any way, shape, or form. But Casey Anthony, no, they proved it. O.J. Simpson, they proved it. O.J. Simpson went down on politics. That's why they found him not guilty. And Casey Anthony, they fell for, she's a fragile young woman. Maybe maybe it's not, maybe the father did do these things. That they just fell for it. That's all. I swear to God, I don't believe for a minute they didn't prove that case. People keep saying that, but I don't see that that's true. As a professional jury, I would have found her guilty. And there are some places, sometimes where I'd say, I believe they're guilty, very much believe they're guilty, but there's just not enough to absolutely say they did it. Casey Anthony, I don't have a problem with her. She did it. That's only my opinion. So, that's what they always do, Angela. Defense putting someone else in the mix truly can put a doubt. Yes, they have this, literally what they said, alternative theory. But there's an alternative theory. You can have 100 alternative theories. It doesn't make any of them valid. So an alternative theory is only useful if there's enough evidence to say maybe the alternative theory has equal weight and support, or not even equal weight. Let's say, I'm trying to think of somebody. Okay, let's go to the Wolfenberger case. So supposedly the husband was abusive toward his wife. She vanished, and he didn't really give a shit. And then her skull was found near his place of employment. Her body was never found, and then other body parts are found around near his place of employment, but not her torso, just her skull and other parts. Anyway, the police went to his apartment they lived in, or house they lived in, and not one shred of proof that she was of any blood in the place. There was no physical proof he killed her in that apartment. Did he seem to not care that his wife was gone missing? He said, yeah, she probably just ran away. Does that make him look bad? Absolutely. Here's the alternative theory, though, which is, since they had nothing on him outside of the fact he was kind of shitty toward his wife and didn't care about her enough, right? The wife, Melissa, had been cheating on the husband with a man who was, I think he was a bank robber. She worked with him, and she had stayed overnight with him. And he was a criminal. He could have killed her. Her father had killed 5 people. And when she went missing, he didn't bother to even drive 30 minutes to find out what happened to his daughter for 4 months. And her mother is a scumbag too. The mother helped the father dispose of bodies. She didn't go anywhere. She had a 30-minute drive to go to her daughter's house to find out why she hadn't showed up for Christmas. She didn't go there. So the defense could say, look, you got nothing, physical evidence to prove that the husband killed her, which is absolutely true. The husband said, the concept that he would kill her, get rid of her torso someplace far, far away, but put the skull next to his workplace. Does that make sense? No, it doesn't. It almost looks like he's being framed. It really does. Now, and then you got these creepy people she's hanging out with, or the wife's hanging out with creepy people. The father's a creepy person. The mother's a creepy person. Any one of them could have done something to her. That's what you call unreasonable alternative theory, because you got 0 on the person you're trying to convict. So I would say, could the husband have still killed his wife, Melissa? Maybe. Was there any evidence that he did? No. Was there enough squirrely people around who could have done her in? Yes. And end of discussion. Found not guilty in 2 hours by that jury. That's an example. So, and that's just not made up stuff. That's real stuff. There was never any proof that Casey Anthony's father did anything bad to her or to Kaylee or drowned Kaylee. None of that even existed. There wasn't a shred of proof that her father did anything. I don't know what kind of father he was. Maybe it was a shabby father. Maybe he did do something, but there was never a shred of proof. It was just a story created by the defense for an alternative theory. Yeah. So, let's see. You disagree with me. Who's disagreeing with me? You can't disagree with me. It's not allowed. Uh, no, I don't want to talk about any of that stuff. I want to go. I don't do anything political if I can avoid anything political because everybody gets stupid when it comes down to politics. So no politics on this channel, please. Yeah. So anyway, I think I'll stop here because I'm hungry and I think I'm going to make myself dinner. Anyway, well, I'm glad I couldn't move the picture behind me got frozen, and so I couldn't change the picture behind me, but at least my overlays work. And yeah, I didn't get to look better this time, but I'm glad. When I first started to do the show, my head was going like, because it was glitching all over the place. I thought, oh my God, everything's gone wrong. I won't even be able to do the show. And luckily, just on time, I think the glitching stopped. I don't know what's going on today. Maybe it's the World Cup. It's overloading the channels or something. Overloading the internet. So hey, I never heard who won. Wait a minute, who's left? Wait a minute, is Argentina still there? Hold on now. Who's telling me? Before. Oh, thank you very much, Lisa. Appreciate that. Yes, please do. Oh, it's over. Okay, what's over? Spain won. Is that the end of is that the complete end? Spain won. I mean, we're talking about is this the final game, right? So Spain won? Interesting. I'm not a soccer fan. So, I mean, I didn't watch the World Cup. So, I'm more of a baseball person. I love MMA, UFC. I love that stuff. So I know it's weird for a woman, but Spain won. Okay, everybody, Spain won. There we go. For anybody what's for dinner? I have no freaking idea. My son and I are actually going out. Don't say anything, anybody. My son and I are going out to the 10:30 movie tonight to see the Odyssey on IMAX. So he's saying, "Ma, can you stay awake to do the?" And usually I stay up at 2 or 3 o'clock. So that's why he even asked me. He said, "You want to go see the Odyssey?" And it's like, we don't. He said, I don't want to talk about it before we go. I don't know if it's absolutely horrible, absolutely great, but since we tend to agree on movies, we're both curious if we're going to go there and we're going to see whether we agree on the Odyssey. So don't tell me if you hated it or loved it. I'm going to go see it and see whether it's a nightmare or whatever. Angela says, I'd be asleep in 15 minutes. Well, we'll see how it works. So yeah, so we're going to be at the 10:30 to 12:30 movie. But I usually stay up late. So I say I'm probably the only person he can ask. Otherwise, nobody else would do that. Oh, it's 3 hours? Oh, no. Is it really? Oh, shit. Maybe I can't stay awake. Maybe we'll walk out of the theater. I mean, we've done that before. In the middle of the movie, I go, "You want to leave?" And he goes, "Yeah, let's go." Oh, it is 3 hours. Oh, my God. I was thinking it was 2. It better be damn interesting. Yeah. Oh, my God. Well, I'll let you guys know if you join Patreon, you come to the hangout this week, which I think might be Wednesday, maybe, or Thursday. But I'll let you know how the Odyssey went. So it's really loud. Oh, now you're scaring me. Oh my God. Yeah. I personally think I'm not going to like it, but my son and I, we often see movies together, and I think we've only disagreed on a couple. We're very similar in our viewpoints. So it's really kind of funny because a lot of people I go to, and I have another good friend, and I go to movies with her, and I've walked out of so many of those movies. I'm like, okay, well, it was nice going to the movie with you. See you later. And I just leave because I couldn't make it through the movie. And so she calls it the pat. And then she said the other day she walked out of a movie. She goes, "I did the pat." I'll let me form my own opinions. All right. Okay. Oh, that's interesting. Dialogue was quiet. Background noise is too loud. Sometimes I don't like the way they actually do the filming, and it really is annoying. So, but we'll find out. So, good enough, Christoph. Did you want Spain to win or not? So, I do. Kung Fu says, "That was lovely, Pat. Thank you for including all of us, even though the matted hair trolls lack manner." I don't know who those people were. I didn't see anything. How did I miss everything? I mean, this time I didn't see anybody that said anything horrible because I've blocked people on other shows. But yeah. So anyway, I'm going to go find I'm going to have a snack, and then my son and I are going to. He's like, "You want to go get some food before we go to the movie theater?" I'm like, Sure. And now I'm supposed to go to his house at 9:30. And I'm like, where the hell are we going to eat on a Sunday night at 10 o'clock? So, I don't think that's going to happen. So I don't know. So we'll probably end up with like a beer and tater tots or something at a bar. So we'll see. So anyway, thank you guys for being here. Again, if you're new to the channel, please do consider subscribing so that I can keep this channel going. Join Patreon for $5 a month if you'd like to be. And normally, I mean, you all have been great today, but usually I have Patreon only for just because it's more peaceful and less stressful. But you guys have been great tonight. I haven't had any issues at all. So there was some trolling. I missed it all. Oh, that worked out for me. Maybe not for you guys, but for me. Anyway, thank you for being here. See some of you this week, and maybe some of you I'll see in another public live. But always feel free to comment on any of my videos. I do see some of the newest comments coming in, and then after a while, if it's a lot of comments, I sort of lose track. But sometimes I try to reply to people if they comment early. So anyway, bye-bye, everybody.